And welcome back. Time for this week's Capitol Report with Pat McGuigan of CapitolBeatOK.com. Pat, there is a runoff election coming up next Tuesday, the 23rd. I know you have some thoughts on some of the individual races there, but you also have some broader points that you want to make other than just in these particular comments.
Real quickly, the City Sentinel has made some endorsements in 3 of the Republican runoffs and in 2 of the Democratic runoffs. I just want to mention those. And I'm not making a passionate brief against the candidates that we're not endorsing. For county clerk, for the Republican nomination, Carolyn Caudill, the incumbent, I respect because she's actually delivered on the fiscal conservatism she promised all those years ago. Her opponent's David Hooten, and the Sentinel endorsed Caudill. In the court clerk's race, Republican nomination, the short-term incumbent that's just been there for a few months because of that special election back earlier this year is Rick Warren. His opponent, I think, is a little better fit with the office, but I'm not slamming Mr. Warren in saying that. Linda Amick Dotson is who the City Sentinel has endorsed. And finally, in House District 85, you remember we've talked about that because it was so significant when it was won by a Democrat, namely Cindy Munson, after the death of David Dank. The Republican runoff contest is between Matt Jackson and Robin Matthews, and Matt has paid his dues for many years, and we're supporting him for the nomination. 5th District congressional race. I kind of respect Steve Russell, but I have also been friends with Tom Guild for more than 2 decades. And he's quite liberal, I'm not, but he's seeking the Democratic nomination again, and he's the best performing Democrat against the Republicans in many, many years, so 2 elections ago. He's running against Al McCaffrey, and the newspaper has endorsed Tom Guild. Finally, House 97, Mike Shelton's seat. Mike, a legislator I respect a great deal on the east side of Oklahoma City. Jason Lowe and Chris Harrison are the candidates, and we've endorsed Jason Lowe.
All right. And these do not reflect the feelings of News 9 in any way, but just the City Sentinel.
Voting's like a muscle. It needs to be exercised, and I encourage everybody, whether you agree with me or not, to get out and exercise
it. Well, religious freedom continues to roil the national debate, that's for sure. And Pat has a point of view on that, particularly in this presidential election year.
Years and years ago, when I was a young man, I was a great admirer, and still am, of the now late Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who passed away in 2008, great Russian patriot. And he said the troubles of the 20th century and then the 21st century had come about because people had forgotten God. He also said when there's a picture of him early in his years in the Soviet Gulag. He also said, man is separated from the animals by thought and speech, and these by rights must be free. And at this time that we're having such arguments about religious freedom, something I've touched on previously, I wanted to give him a tip of the hat. His famous commencement address at Harvard kind of made him seem politically incorrect to the American intelligentsia, because he said the main problem of the modern era is that the same problem infected both the communist world and the West, and that was excessive materialism. I've been thinking about him a lot, and I don't think that's accident. This last picture is of him in his peak years when he was just cranking out one great book after another.
Yeah, quite an amazing author.
Yeah.
All right, you can read more about these and other topics at CapitolBeatOK.com. For Pat McGuigan, I'm Alex Cameron. Have a great day.